are asking that where are Uganda's medals going to come from at the World Athletics Championships that will be happening in Japan. So feel free to share your feedback, and in this particular segment of the show, we'll be going through some of that as we continue this very discussion. Joining us on set is none other than Godwin Byamukama, who is the head of marketing at the Uganda Athletics Federation. Godwin, good evening. Good to have you on the show.
Yeah, good evening.
How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Should I tell people what the conversation was between you and Clive?
No, of course, why not? The man is head of marketing. I'm telling him to sponsor my trip to Tokyo to cover the World Athletics.
In the layman's language, Godwin, welcome to the show. Good to have you. How is everything happening, going on at the Federation?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here too. Apparently, we can say everything is going on well. Okay. The team is set. The first batch should be moving out on Wednesday. Okay. So that they have enough rest, so that also acclimatize with the environment in Tokyo as we kickstart on Saturday. Okay,
just a preamble on it should have been on 3rd of September when that team was named by the Federation, a team that has a total of 21 players that will be representing the country for the championships that will be happening from the 13th all the way to the 21st. Away from the announcements, again, I'll ask this, how ready are we as Team Uganda? We'll get to our worries much later, but to start with, away from the announcement, how ready are we?
Team Uganda is very ready. We've been in camp for the last 2 months. Okay. Yeah, residential training camp. That is, the team was selected, put in a residential training camp for the last 2 months. And these athletes have been competing. We actually have been having athletes who have been competing in the Diamond Leagues. They have had several continental runs. Yeah. So the team is very, 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 very ready for the championship. We began preparation for this a year ago, setting the team. You look at the team, they are much younger athletes now than the previous teams. Yeah, and it takes an effort and confidence to pick young athletes to go and compete in the World Championships. But they deserve it. They qualified. Okay. There's no shortcut here. The World Athletics Championships are the hardest in our calendar as athlete, as track and field, we can say. And the qualifying standards this time were higher than the Olympics. Yes.
Yeah, because what makes it tough for you to be able to qualify for a competition like the World Athletics, to qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations, you're competing against fellow African teams. Yeah. To qualify for the World, or even to qualify for the World Cup, you're qualifying with fellow African teams to qualify for the World Cup. For the World Athletics Championships, you're qualifying with fellow athletes around the world. So everyone needs to meet a certain criteria to be able to make the time. But also there are incidences where you'll probably have 6 athletes qualifying for the 10,000 meters and they're all Ugandans, and you can only have 3. In the event that you have a world champion, he will have a wild card, so you have a 4th slot. So when he says that it's tough, it is really tough because you're not only competing against your people on the continent, but you're competing against everyone in the world to make sure that you meet the qualification time. And
when Godwin talks about the fact that the team has been in camp for 2 months, 2 months sounds like a really good period of preparation.
Maybe also what needs to elaborate, like the entire Team Uganda, have they been in camp in Kapchora, or people have been in different places in the world preparing for the World Athletics Championships? Because we know some people have agencies, they have different training camps. How has the arrangement been?
Yeah, basically the biggest part of our team are long distance runners, and they have all been in camp in Kapchora. Okay. Yes, but they like now the sprinters, you realize we have Shida Leni, who also qualified, but she has been in Europe recently. We have Dradiga Tom, he has also been in Europe. So
Halima Nakai too?
Halima Nakai has been competing for us. She has been on the circuit in the Diamond League all through, but she's been also training in the US. So we have these athletes, but those are few number, but all the other athletes have been in camp for the last 2 months.
You also talked about the fact that we have quite a number of young athletes on the team that was named. What does that speak to? Is there a bit of a shift in what we've always known that we are yet to know about? What does that speak to, that this time round our team has quite a number of young athletes in there?
You'll know nothing lasts forever. We have to appreciate what we've got from the others. You will not stick and say, no, you can't go. No. If someone tells you, I have to transition to another thing, you'll say, okay, thank you very much for all you've done for us as a country. And you start to plan, even before they leave, before people go. Because no one has left. Okay. They're all still there. But we as a federation, we have to think of what's the future? Yeah, you realize we have an 18-year-old, Lois Cheptegei, going for the World Championships. 18-year-old. So you realize that, it's tough for an 18-year-old to be thrown in
the deep end.
At the deep end, but she deserves it. She qualified.
Also be doing the 3,000 meter steeplechase?
Yes, steeplechase. Okay. She qualified. She's going along with the Olympic champion, Peruth Chemtai. Yeah. But she has a good mentor in Peruth Chemtai, but she qualified. Yeah, there is no shortcut in the World Championships. You deserve to be there if you're there.
There is always a first time, most importantly.
Yeah, but
it's only after that first time that it starts to feel like, Yeah. But the biggest worry for all Ugandans, because, when Joshua Cheptegei is on that team, we already feel like we are entitled to a medal. That's non-debatable.
I just love the way how the Athletics Uganda put it out there. Breaking news. Of course, majority of us had already known that they weren't going to go for the World Championships. I think Alan Darren Cheney had done several stories for the Daily Monitor. But of course, an official statement had not come out. And officially, the statement came out. Of course, we all knew that Joshua Cheptegei and Jacob Kiplimo had moved away from the track, and they were now marathoners, and they actually qualified for the World Championships because they have some of the good times out there, but they decided to skip the World Championships. So even if they were to go to the World Championships, Joshua Cheptegei was not going to defend his 10,000 meters. He was going to run in the marathon. Of course, Jacob had never been Jacob had never won the world title, but he's another you would look at and you're like, he is a medal prospect. So the big question is, of course, like you did say, where are the medals going to come from? Of course, Victor Kiplagat goes to Tokyo as the world champion in the in the marathon. For me, ever since Peruth Chemtai won that gold in Tokyo, I thought that probably her career was supposed to take off. Unfortunately for her, the next world championships that were in the USA, she suffered a bacteria. She wasn't able to compete. She comes for the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. She gets that injury. Of course, she's able to settle for bronze. I think she misses the World Championships again in Budapest, and she has been struggling to get herself back on track. But if you're looking for medals outside Joshua and Cheptegei, who are not there, rather Joshua and Jacob, who are not there, you feel Peruth has a point to prove in the steeplechase. It is the same venue.
Also a comeback, more like a comeback after the
It is the same venue that she became Olympic champion. It is the same venue, and every time you speak to her, she speaks with this confidence of, I can't be able to perform.
That's the team on the screen.
I'm talking about a lady who won silver at the Olympics in Paris when she failed to defend a title, and she was so disappointed in herself to the extent at that point, I remember we were with Darren, I remember her telling us that she was even going to skip the World Championships because she wanted to prepare herself for the Olympics in LA, but probably she was speaking out of anger. She was disappointed. She has this confidence of, I have to be a world champion, and you think she's one of those ladies who are going to Tokyo, like you did say, with a point to prove. So for me, if you're talking about medals, those two, and maybe Oscar Kilimo in the 5,000 meters and 10,000 meters. Yes, he might not have Jacob and Joshua's company, but he's one that you feel on a good day he can hold his ground out there, and he gets to perform.
Clive, you've shared your medal prospects in this team that was named. Now I want Godwin to also give us his perspective in that regard of medal prospects, and much later we'll be hearing from Alan Darren Cheney about that same talking point as well. So Godwin, Clive has said what he has said, but when you look at this 21-man team that was named, what are some of the, maybe you know a bit more than we do, considering the preparations and everything, what are some of the names you will give us and be like, you know what, we still have a bit of confidence in these and these that are going to be part of Team Uganda? Yeah,
you see, we are talking about a championship. Championships are quite different from what we always see, the Diamond Leagues and all that, because mostly they are rounds, and that changes the game. you know, it's we have always seen the people who always dominate the Diamond Leagues don't take the title at the World Championships. So the World Championships are a bit tough. Everyone who's there has a chance. The same way we had previously in 2022, Nakai coming in and taking the title. Yeah. You couldn't think Nakai was going to take the title, but it's a World Championship. Never write anyone off. No one goes there by accident or by chance. None. So you realize, like Clive was telling you, we have a defending champion in the marathon. We have Stephen Kisa in that same marathon. Yeah. He was 5th after a fall. You know what it means? In a marathon, you fall down, get up, and catch up with the other guys. Yeah. That was actually a miracle kind of for him to finish in 5th. Had he fallen, perhaps we could have had 2 medals. So we have a strong team. We have Ali Manakai. She has been very consistent at the Diamond League circuit. She's running the same time. Yeah. That's quite hard. You find someone running 157, 157, 157, all the other races. Yes, we have Stella Chesang. You're forgetting Stella Chesang. Stella Chesang is going to the marathon in very good form.
Alongside Marceline Chilangat and Juliet Chekwel.
Yeah, you see all those. Now you see that
when you start to mention the names, you're like, but no, we are still worried. No, we are still worried.
No, the country is still worried.
We actually now, like, I wanted to also tell you about the Joshua and Jacob. These are big names. Yeah. If Joshua tells you I'm not ready, or Jacob tells you I'm not ready, they are really not ready.
I don't think it's a case of not being ready. For somebody who has a race coming up in September, surely.
I think what Godwin is saying
championship.
Whatever reason they give you, at the level of professionalism they are at, you've got to take it.
No, Gisty, it's not about not being ready. Like he did say, Joshua and Jacob are big athletes in the world right now, and when you look at some of the big athletes out there, the other being Elliot Kipchoge, probably the greatest marathon of all time, he doesn't have so many competitions at the World Championships. They prefer to run other races that come with the big money than the World Championships. Not that the World Championship is not a big stage, but they are already registered, they are already booked, they are already given appearance fees to run some of the marathons. And you know, I think on average you can do 2 or 3 marathons a year. 3 is extreme. 2 is good enough. So you don't expect somebody to be at the World Championships when he has a marathon coming up in September and it is paying good money. So obviously they will skip the Worlds to probably be part of the. I think Jacob is doing the Berlin. Joshua also has something coming up.
Jacob is also preparing to defend his title in January for the World Cross Country.
Exactly. So they'll sacrifice this because they are at a level where it is no longer about the badge. It is no longer about the flag.
And you know, the moment
we must make that
money, there we excuse everything else.
That is the sole reason why they would skip. People yearn to be at the Olympics. There's no money at the Olympics. Okay, moving forward, there is big money at the Olympics. But usually it is because of prestige. You're not taking any money, but it is prestige. But you'll find people skipping the World Championships where they can get a little bit of money to run these other races. But then you'll find them at the Olympics where there's no man on table, but because of prestige, it is the Olympics. I must be at the Olympics.
Okay. I want us to hear from Alan Derencheine regarding this very topic that we are discussing, the World Athletics that will be happening in Japan. Like I said earlier on, Uganda has already named its team. 21 of those that were named, and Godwin just confirmed that they've been training for 2 months now. But we now want to hear from Alan Derencheine. He's been covering athletics more than anyone else that I know in this country. So here you go.
Hi, Justin and the guys in studio. So just a few hours before the Tokyo World Athletics Championships do get underway in the Japanese capital this weekend. Of course, a lot has been said. The absence of Joshua Cheptegei and Jacob Kiplimo not on the team. I think Jacob Kiplimo has only featured at one World Championships in the last 4 editions that have happened. He missed the Doha 2019 World Championships, wasn't in Budapest in 2023. Missed Doha in 2019. He won the 10,000-meter bronze medal in Eugene, Oregon in 2022. And he goes on to miss. Many have felt he's not sealed a legacy like Joshua has done on track. But anyway, the two will be competing in different marathon races. Joshua Cheptegei featuring at the Amsterdam Marathon in the Netherlands on October the 19th. And then Jacob Kiplimo will compete at the Chicago Marathon on October the 12th. These are the real reasons as to why the two will not feature. They the city marathons over the World Championships. And there's room and hope that they should be at least available for the Los Angeles 2028 Olympic Games. And that will be really, really important for Joshua Cheptegei, who will be attempting to seal a legacy. But besides, I think, who are the other athletes? Uganda, I think, has been accustomed to winning medals at these World Championships, back from Moscow 2013 when Stephen Kiprotich won that marathon gold in 2013 in Russia. Then Solomon Mutai winning a marathon bronze in 2015 in Beijing, in China. And then 2017, Joshua Cheptegei won a silver medal over the 10,000 meters in London behind Mo Farah. 2019, Cheptegei 10,000 meter gold, Halima Nakai 800 meter gold. 2022, Uganda won three medals in Eugene in the USA in Oregon. Cheptegei won the 10,000 meter gold, retained it. Kiplimo won a bronze in the same event, and his half-brother Oscar Chelimo took that bronze medal in the men's 5,000 meter final. And then recently at the Budapest World Athletics Championships in Hungary in 2023, Cheptegei completed a three-peat in the 10,000 meters, and then the athlete that is Victor Kiplangat winning that gold medal in the marathon at Heroes Square in Budapest, where I was privileged to be. Now here in Tokyo, I think you can't leap your eyes over the athlete that is Paruth Chemtai. She'll be gunning for her first World Championships medal over the 3,000 meters steeplechase. This notwithstanding the fact that she's been able to win gold over the Olympic Games in Tokyo 4 years ago, as well as the silver medal at the Olympic Games in Paris last year. So she's the biggest medal prospect. Of course, she'll be challenged by Faith Cherotich from Kenya, as well as Wilfred Yavi Mutile, who comes from Bahrain, the Kenyan-born Bahrani. And besides, you anticipate that Halima Nakai should have a chance in the women's 800 meters. She's done tremendously well this season. She's struggled over time, and she hopes that she'll be able to pick a piece of silverware if she does really perform well in the races. Besides the 800 meters, in the marathon, Kiplangat has hopes of defending his title if he has a good day. Solomon Mutai is entered. Even if Cheptegei and Kiplimo are away, Solomon Mutai is the next best decorated runner after Kiplangat, with the Commonwealth silver medal from the 2018 Commonwealth Games in Australia, as well as the Beijing bronze medal at the World Championships in 2015. Besides, there are some new faces like Abel Chelangat in the marathon, as well as Stephen Kisa, who actually fell at a water point when we were in Budapest after 33 kilometers, but he picked himself up to finish fourth, and he stands a chance this time to go and win a medal. For the marathoners, they've really got to have a good day, and for the women who come up this weekend on Saturday, Stella Chesang stands the chance in the women's marathon. She finished 8th at the Olympic Games in that marathon event. If you recall, that race also had Rebecca Cheptegei, who eventually died a month later, and it was just last week that we marked a year since her death after the arson attack from her partner in Kenya. So those are some of the prospects where I think Uganda could stand a chance for a medal. Some faces are out, some new faces are in. Expect some young tucks to take on the track. Cheptegei's understudies like Kenneth Kiprop, Daniel Kibet in the 5,000 meters, as well as Sarah Chelangat, hoping that she can stamp her mark in the 5,000 meters and 10,000 meters.
Okay, there you have it. Alan Darren Choine. I think Darren could speak about athletics for a month non-stop. For a year. I make it a year? Yeah, perfect. But a very good analysis, pretty much a summary of what we expect from Team Uganda at the World Athletics that will be happening in Japan. Godwin, you hinted on the fact that the first bunch will be traveling. When did you say?
They will be leaving on Wednesday.
They're moving in bunches?
There are two batches, Wednesday and Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, but most of them are moving on Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
The movement in batches has nothing to do with logistics.
That was my worry.
But preparations. If the marathon is happening at the tail end of the championship, there is no need for you to go early.
Because in these other different sports disciplines, especially in this country, when you hear teams moving in groups, batches, you're like, where is it next week?
You realize, like in the Olympics, because they take a much longer time. So the people who would be running last in the last days, they actually move closer to the days, 2 days to their event. So for us in athletics, we do it that way, so that people don't just get heavy.
Okay, makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Clive, looking at that team, I know we've talked about where else we could be looking for medals and stuff like that. But how confident are you in Team Uganda?
I am confident that we'll be able to win medals. Of course, there's bronze and silver also at stake, but the other world championships, you would want Victor to defend his world title in the marathon, or if it can't, Kisa or anyone else can be able to get to that middle stand in the podium. But also, I'm one of those people who has never lost faith and confidence in Peruth Chemtai. I believe probably this could be the year, or this could be the edition where she pushes herself to go out there and be a world champion, because she is desperate. She's yearning, she's hungry, she wants to be a world champion. So let's wait and see what Tokyo has to offer. Okay, good win. Are you heading to Japan?
No, I'll be here.
You'll be cheering on from here, like all of us?
Cheering on from here. So not everyone will go. Some have to remain back here. And we have to move on with the work.
Yeah. But I wanted to ask you about how hard or how easy it is, because you talked about the fact that people age and people then transition from one thing to the other, and how important it is for the federation to continuously scout for these young ones and bring them into the team. But how hard or how easy is it for the federation to scout for these young talented athletes and integrate them into the team?
Actually, that's very difficult. That's one of the most difficult things. You realize some countries will have athletes competing at the highest level. When those athletes move out, they even struggle to qualify athletes. Qualifying an athlete to the World Championship, they get wild cards to go to the World Championships. That's how hard it is to transition from big stars to maintain that top level. In athletics, it's quite hard because it's an individual sport. All the millions of people in the world can make it. Like in Uganda, we are 45 million. We've taken 21 athletes to Tokyo. Now, that's how hard it is. So, but either way, for us as a federation, it's our mandate. We have to keep pushing. We have to keep creating opportunities for the young athletes. If you realize, like now, we have the Dan Kibet. Dan Kibet is an African under-20 champion.
Okay, I thought, NTV has a reporter called Dan Kibet.
No relation.
No relation, perhaps. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
But you realize now we have those who have been in the other runs on the other championships where people may not have recognized them, but he's an African under-20 champion. So you see how we transition. We move from, we have to come, even Cheptegei, before he came, I was with him when he became, I was looking at him when he became the world under-20 champion in Oregon. So you see, this is how you come. We can't say, okay, we can't pressurize these young men and women to be, that we want you to perform like Cheptegei now. No, we can't. But we are hopeful they'll get there. Okay. But they're doing well. Okay. You can, if you look at the team, you really see that we have young men and women who are coming in. Our future is bright as a sport.
What's the process been like to ensure that these athletes make it for the world athletics? Because, when it comes to sport in this country and teams representing at different levels, time and again we hear stories that, it's for laundering some money for the teams and stuff like that. So how have the preparations been? Smooth?
Yeah, very smooth, we can say.
Yeah, I think the Athletics Federation is one of those that never has
exactly. They are one of those that are well facilitated by government. Recently, the president...
not very well facilitated.
Recently, the president, Dominic Etchet, came out and said that the budget they are giving to football, they should actually consider also extending the same kind of budget to athletics, because I don't think Uganda athletics have ever failed to assemble a team. for any kind of championship. Junior, Africa, whatever, they will always have a team that goes out there to compete. And like he has always said, it is always on merit. So it doesn't matter how old you are, as long as you meet the grade, they will always make sure you go out there and compete. You just need to put in the work, and eventually you will be rewarded.
Like the president always tells you that, always tells us that this is a golden sport. So once we go out there, we expect gold. We chase gold. You know, the president keeps reminding people that this is a golden spot. When we go out there, we're focusing on gold. That's how far we need to also be funded more. You know, it's very, very difficult to be. You know, at one moment we can't take a full team, especially the younger ones. We need to be taking these young athletes more big teams, so that they get exposed. All right,
thank you very much, Godwin. You have any parting shots, or are we good to go? Next, we should expect is you know, to see gold medals coming out of Japan. Like you said, we go for gold. Yeah, we go for gold. Coming beginning next Saturday, be on your screens. Let's cheer these young men and women, and we pray for them. Yeah, we are hopeful. We are hopeful. We are actually confident in the team we've sent out. And we know we'll come back with silverware. Thank you very much, Godwin Byamukama. He's the head of marketing at the Uganda Athletics Federation, joining us to speak about Uganda's preparations for the World Athletics Championships that will be happening in Japan from the 13th of this very month all the way to the 21st. Uganda has named a 21-man team that will be representing, and we definitely will be following the entire journey from start to the end. It's time for a break now. When we do return, we'll be taking some of your comments that have come through our social media